It was a Friday night way down south in Mobile, Alabama. I was shyly sitting in the corner of the Mobile Yacht Club off of Dolphin Island Parkway. Through a dirty window, I could see headlights crossing the Causeway Bridge against an almost black sky. I had my Taylor acoustic guitar and a Shure SM58 mic plugged into a tiny crate amplifier to the left of my bar stool. Directly in front of me was a black metal music stand that held the printed out lyrics to The Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding and Steve Cropper. The place was so empty it looked closed. There were 6 people in the entire seating area and maybe 1 or 2 at the bar. When I finished playing the song, Trudy, the bartender and manager, noticed no one was clapping. She tucked her tray under her arm and applauded with an "I feel sorry for you" smile. A few random slow golf claps trickled in behind hers as they noticed I was finished. I couldn't even consider myself mediocre. My fingers messed up every chord that night. My voice was what it is, nothing special. My banter was incredibly awkward, and my tip jar was empty, but I was hooked. The adrenaline was like nothing I'd ever experienced. Before I even loaded my gear into my trunk that night, I called my fiancée, Laney, from the parking lot and said, "I want to be a singer." I paused. "Want to move to Nashville?" Without hesitation, Laney said, "Absolutely." I think the craziest thing about the night my dream was conceived is that I really didn't even want to play the show in the first place. It was born out of one of those classic dad bragging about his kid moments. He was at the yacht club one night and just decided that he thought I was as good as anyone he'd ever heard singing and playing there, so he booked me a gig without even asking if I wanted one. To say I was mad at him for doing this would be a ginormous understatement. I couldn't believe he signed me up for that. First of all, I was a grown man. I didn't need my daddy to be my booking agent. Second of all, I had serious stage fright. I'm talking terrified, fingers shaking, forgetting all the words stage fright. Third of all, I was not that talented. I was my mom and my dad and my girlfriend think I'm good, but that's it. Nothing about me indicated that I should aim for the stars. However, my dad thought I should, so he nudged me, and I'm glad he did. I told him I would only play the show on one condition, that he had to stop bugging me to play live. I played the show, but he never stopped bugging me. As I recall talking to Laney on the phone that night, all I can wonder is what in the world were we thinking? I was 23 years old, off to a promising start selling real estate with my dad, and newly engaged to my high school sweetheart. We'd even put a down payment on a lot we found about a half-mile around the corner from my office and were narrowing down house plans. My new dream and the timing of it made 0 sense whatsoever. It blindsided me and everyone else. I remember telling our change of plans to family and friends and them not being able to hide the shock on their faces. Some people literally laughed out loud because they thought I was joking. I specifically remember the question, "Do you even sing in front of people?" I said, "No, not really, but I will." My mother was happy for us in a worried way. I remember her concerned smiles. Laney's parents were completely sucker punched. They were still trying to wrap their brains around their daughter's questionable taste in boys. I had just assured them a month or 2 earlier when I asked for Laney's hand that we were going to live in Mobile, I'd be selling real estate with my dad, and their future grandbabies would be growing up right around the corner. So, you can imagine their reaction when their soon-to-be son-in-law drives by midweek and casually informs them that he thinks he wants to move to Nashville and become a rock star. Nope, it wasn't the most comfortable day.